So in this webinar, I'm going to give you a mechanism, okay, and I want to show you how to go from here to how to go to there, okay? How to get from one place to another, because we're all out there, we're all scuffling back and forth to try to make something of our lives to be able to go from here to there. But the problem is that everybody's doing a different vehicle, okay? They're all doing a different vehicle, and all different vehicles not treated equal, okay? Now, working hard is not the right answer. I learned that. As most of you know, most people out there work hard for a living, but by the time they reach the age of retirement, if they can retire, they're having problems and they have to rely on the government or some other form of income, Social Security. We'll just chuckle at that a little bit, to make ends meet, and they're usually working or they'll outlive their money. So we know that the formula is not working. And so what I'd like you to do today is to relax. We're not here to sell you on anything. And my primary goal here today is to do a few things. Number one is I want to give you value, tremendous amounts of value on this call. Whether or not you decide to work with us, my goal is always to give value and to have you say, I didn't know that, and maybe apply it in your life to be able to progress further in whatever you decide to do and say, hey man, I was really glad that I was on that webinar. So that's one of the things that I want to do tonight. So I'm going to raise your awareness of different things, and maybe you're going to say, wow, you know, I never really looked at it that way. Number two is I want to reopen your eyes, okay? And when I say reopen, I mean that your eyes are open, okay? But when you were younger, I think your eyes were even more wide open because you were looking at dreams, you were reaching for things, and eventually your dreams come down, okay? Your dreams come down and your picture gets more and more subdued, right? So we're born to win, but we're conditioned to lose. And this is done through our society, this is done through news, this is done through our parents, authority figures, and things like that in our lives. And they condition us, and I'll get into that a little bit, as to why maybe your eyes have been closed a little bit to possibilities, because inside of you, you have the ultimate person inside that can be able to do and accomplish anything. You're fully resourced with everything you need on the inside to be able to make your life whatever you want it to be, okay? And that's been taken away from us, and I think we've kind of just like forgot that it's there. And I want to be able to maybe open that up a little bit, even a little bit more, to give you that sliver of hope and possibility that it's not too late, that you can be able to get your life from here to there. And we have a vehicle today called ELearning that's going to be able to be the engine of change that's going to be able to get you from here to there, okay? So, you know, if you stay until the end of this webinar, I can promise you that I'm going to give you value, okay? I'm going to promise you that it's going to be the best 60 minutes you've spent in a very, very long time because of the value that we're going to give you today, okay? Now, what makes us different here at ELearning? Joe mentioned a few things. Almost 3 decades of experience. Now, if you add my experience, Joe's experience, and many of the leaders and our CFO, COO, and all the different people that are working behind the scenes, well over, in excess of 100 to 200 years of experience. And so we put all these together for you to make us different, okay? To have this track record. And I know, you know, they say in the stock market, if you trade stocks, and I do, that, you know, past performance is not indicative of future performance, but it's a pretty good, darn good indicator. And it's almost like a safety net for you, because you have to have experience, and people that have run companies and run businesses, that they're not going to be able to buckle and go out of business on the first bump, okay? And we all know that that happens. Most businesses before 2 years are gone. The rest of them that are around for 5 years, they're gone, and maybe a few percent are going to be staying past 5 years. And you know what? Most of those are gone in the next 5 years. My main company has been around for 20 years this August, 20 years. Now, ELearning is a separate splinter of that company, but under the umbrella of our holding company, but a separate company. But it's under the experience level of our holding company that's been around for 20 years, and I've been doing this for almost 30. Over 2 million people have joined. Now, these are individuals. If you count the families that are affected, it's millions and millions and millions of people around the world that have been affected by the platforms that we put together, and we're really proud of that. Joe said 500 million, 400, 500, 450. We lost count. Who's counting at this point? The bottom line is this. This is cash money that's been earned by people that have used the platforms that they, in turn, have built. Because our mission is not necessarily the money. Our mission is being an engine for change. I mentioned that before. Our mission is to be able to change lives and give them that mechanism to be able to go from here to there, to be able to go and get them into a different socioeconomic bracket. And, you know, wouldn't it be great if you're watching this right now? You know, everybody says, oh, yeah, I want to make $1 million. But if we can show you how to make an extra 2,000, 4,000, 10,000 in whatever time frame is for you, and you could say, and all of a sudden just go, wow, I am, at least you give you that breathing room. If you could get to that, wow, I can relax a little bit, I can pay the mortgage, I can pay the rent, all these different things, and we can get you to that point, then you can be creative with your life, and you're not so focused on tomorrow, the next day, next week, and you're just overwhelmed with life. And that's our first goal, is to get you to that point. Because I know everybody, yeah, I want to make so much money, and you possibly can do that with this program. Now, I say possibly because it's there. Obviously, we can't promise that, but we have people making 6 figures a month in this program. And you can do that, but we want to show you step by step by step how to use this engine to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Okay, again, I mentioned we have proven systems of success. These successes work. These systems work. Okay, and it's how you plug into these systems. And we're willing to share it with you. We're not holding anything back. We're willing to share this with you, so this way you can get up to speed running fast and be able to go and sprint as fast as you want to sprint. But there's no race here, okay? There's no race. It's a marathon, okay? This information is going to be able to help you go from here to there at whatever speed you want to go to. And the bottom line here is we care about people. The you and you economy, I picture that in my head, okay? If I was to blow that up in Photoshop, I would see all the pixels in there, and I see families and people and faces in those pixels that make up that you. Because it's the you and you economy that makes us special. We are the people, the collective of all those people together, because together the whole is better than the individual. It's not about me. It's not about Joe. It's about you. It's about the people. And this collective is so much stronger than other people. We call it the you crew, okay? And you'll learn more about that as you join our program, because it is more than just the business. The business is the vehicle. But without the people, it's not going to be worth it, okay? So we want to focus on the people, and the money is a byproduct of that. This is a little bit about myself. This house here is where I grew up, okay? That is a recent picture, and back 50 some odd years ago, it's not that much different. Maybe just no aluminum siding around the outside, and maybe about 400 by 400 square foot. So not something you would really want to tell many people about. But, you know, I fought tooth and nail about thinking, should I show people, shouldn't I? And I said, ultimately, you know, maybe I can help some people to say, listen, oh yeah, you know, you're successful, you've done this and you've done that, and, you know, look, you got a silver spoon in your mouth. And I'm like, nay, nay. This is where I came from, okay? We came with nothing. My mother came from Germany. She had nothing. Barely spoke English, did whatever she could to be able to help us. We started in that little shack with my twin sister, my older sister, and we just progressed from there, and we had the American dream. She had the American dream, and she was the entrepreneur. I got that from her, and we progressed from there and went further from that. That's me right over there, just on the right-hand side of that house. That's me when I was a little tyke and progressed up into the Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Webelos, and ultimately went into the modeling business a little bit, and that wasn't for me. But went into the military, followed my father into the Marine Corps, and I rose to the rank of sergeant in about 2 years. But I always had that spark of entrepreneurship inside of me, and I was always doing something from the age of 5 all the way through, even to this day, because I had that spark. And if you have that spark, you know what I'm talking about. I had that inside of me, okay? And even when I was in the service, I had multiple businesses on the side. I went to college classes at night, and to be able to further myself in my careers that I wanted to learn. So as I've been able to progress, I ultimately got out of the military, went into the restaurant business, got a culinary degree, then ultimately went online, and I was able to be mentored by some very special people. That's John Maxwell, the #1 leadership expert in the world, he's written over 106 books. He's a #5 best-selling author on Amazon. There's Darren Hardy, there's Gary Vee, there's Sir Richard Branson. I'm actually going to be publishing a book with him. by August, September of this year with Richard Branson. That's Steve Forbes, and that's me on the cover of the magazine Home Business Advertiser, which I'll show you right now. You know, we've done a lot of things right. Of course, we've done some things wrong, but that's how we learn. That's how we build a business, and that's how we go through. But the things wrong also teach you, and I've learned that through mentorship, is that many times things don't always happen as you plan, but you learn from these different things. And it's not necessarily doing it wrong, it's learning from these things and being able to grow because of it. And when we go into some of the products, we'll teach you why that's important. This is the cover of the magazine. They called my business the Uber of network marketing. And what we meant by the Uber of network marketing is that we took the leading edge. We have leading edge thinking and superimposed that into the industry that we were in, which is online marketing, okay, buying, selling, digital products, e-learning space, things like that. And we just reimagined it just like Uber did, but we did it 10 years before Uber, Airbnb, and the like. And we decided to run a much more lean company, to be able to have a cloud-based company well before people even knew what cloud-based was, and to be able to run an efficient company so that this way we could allow the technology of the day and the internet to run most of our business, and thus allow our members to make much more income and money per sale than they could possibly do anywhere else. Many companies were paying 50%, 40%, 30%. If you're lucky, 50, 60%. We're paying 80 to 90% in many of our businesses that are online. And people are like, how are you doing that? Well, we're doing that because we're a lean company and we use the e-learning space as our main product. And I'll get into that a little bit later. And we automate as many things as possible, kind of cutting out the fat of a traditional business and allowing you to get paid directly. So this way we eliminate merchant fees and 1099s and all these different things that cut out the pay from you. Because that's always these little things, 1% here, 3% here, 2% there, that cuts down the income possibility of you, because we have to absorb these things and then we can't pay you. So if we eliminate those through programming, then you're able to make more money, and ultimately we're able to pay you maximum money for the effort you're putting in. So if you use the right vehicle with the right product, with the right company that believes in people, then you're going to get from here to there much quicker, okay? Now I want to talk about a hit show called Shark Tank. Okay, does anybody know Shark Tank? It's one of my favorite shows. It's awesome. And it's where these people go into Shark Tank and they see these entrepreneurs. Here's Kevin Harrington on there. And they talk about their dream and their idea. And they have Mr. Wonderful rip them to shreds, right? Because they go in and they, well, do you have an original product? Or, well, do you have this? Or do you have that? What about inventory? What do you mean you're not going to quit your full-time job to do this? You're not committed. All these type of things that they talk about, and they rip them to shreds. And this is Kevin Harrington. He was on there for the first few years of Shark Tank. And he, in turn, here's a picture of him on the left-hand side with Mr. Wonderful and all the other people of Shark Tank back then. And this is Kevin Harrington here, and he actually says something about myself that I want you to hear.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, one of the original investors on Shark Tank. I was also one of the inventors of the infomercial, and I pioneered the as seen on TV business model. I've also been involved with more than a dozen public companies and have launched over 500 products that have generated more than $5 billion in sales. Now, investing in myself has been the secret ingredient to all my success. And I encourage you to follow an expert in that area. People are always asking me for advice and where to go to get to the next level in their business and their lives. And before I recommend something specific, I always ask if they're ready on the inside. Now, I know from a personal experience that investing in developing yourself first is the absolute best way to get where you want to go. And Peter Wolfing has close to 3 decades of experience in the $100 billion e-learning space. He's an expert trainer, mentor, and author of multiple books. One is co-authored with Brian Tracy titled The Will to Win and is destined to be a bestseller. Peter will also be featured on Times Square TV Live to be aired on ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox. And over the past 2 decades, Peter has developed online platforms that have attracted a membership base of over 2 million people around the globe. He's been called the Uber of his industry because he's an out-of-the-box thinker and has revolutionized and streamlined the online home-based business model. I know you're going to love it.
Guys, that's Kevin Harrington, and you can't get much better than that. He said something very important on that video itself, and he said, invest in yourself first, right? In order for you to be able to expand in your business empire or to make extra money, the first thing you always want to do is invest in yourself first, because you are the best investment you're ever going to make in anything, okay? Now, I've discovered some secrets along the way, and I'm going to uncover them for you in this webinar itself. Number one, you know, I've been selling myself short for way too long, okay? When I was younger, the problem that I had was that, you know, it never occurred to me that I could make more than $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $40, $50 an hour, right? I didn't know it was possible to make $100, $500 an hour or more. Now, that's because I was selling myself short because of the way I was taught when I was younger, okay? Secret number one, develop yourself before, just like Kevin said, develop yourself before you develop the business. As much as 90% of your success or failure is between your ears and not how to do the business. Now, in ELearning, we're going to teach you the how, but you got to know the why. This is called ELMentor. Okay, ELMentor is where we teach you here, and this way you're going to be able to not only learn what works in here, how to think better, but also uncover the potential that's inside of you that maybe you lost. Okay, and we're going to allow you to reach your full potential by discovering and uncovering the onion, so to speak, to find out what makes you tick, to be able to allow you to go through anything to make it happen, okay? That's investing in yourself first, okay? Now, the how to do the business, obviously we're gonna go into that when we go into the products, and we show you how to market as well too. Number two, you must unlearn the bad habits and long-held beliefs in order to make room for the ideas and concepts that service you better. Anyone see Star Wars? We did a training just on Star Wars in our U-Core series, and Yoda says basically you must unlearn that which you've learned. Now, why did he say that? It's because you've learned through people in your life from when you're born all the way through, and you've picked up many, many bad habits, and sorry, sometimes you've picked up things that are not true. And so you have to unlearn some of these habits and challenge yourself to say, is this good for me or bad for me? Do I still believe this or don't I believe this? And people that have made millions and millions of dollars online aren't afraid to challenge those long-held beliefs that they've had to be able to break through further barriers and say, is this servicing me or this not servicing me? And secret number two is you have to unlearn before you can learn to make room for the positive input we're going to give you. Number three, you have to shorten your learning curve with a mentor. The first 8 years, from 1990 to 1998, I thought I could do it myself. I made some money online, but I thought I could wing it, okay? And even when I was younger, I didn't have any, but I was like, what's a mentor, right? So I had to learn and wing it, and I ate a lot of humble pie in the cafeteria of life, I'll tell you that much. And I learned by trial and error. This doesn't work, this works, this doesn't work. And trust me, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars figuring all this out because I didn't know any better. You know, my awareness wasn't there. What's a mentor, right? So my awareness wasn't there until I learned about mentorship, and I met Darren Hardy. I met all these people that were already there. What you do is you take what they've learned and you shortcut the process. And that's what we do with ELearning. One of the key pillars that we have in ELearning is shortening the learning curve by learning from like people, myself, and other people that are in the ELMentor faculty system that are going to teach you these different things to speed up the process so you don't have to go through all of the pain and the learning that I went through. And it was painful, financially painful to learn all this stuff, right? But I was able to weather the storm, come through the other side, be very, very successful, and I'm willing to teach other people as well too. Now, in order to do that, what I've also done is I've started a nonprofit called WizKids, and WizKids is going to teach kids from 6 to 12 and from 13 to 18 the entrepreneurial skills that I never learned when I was younger. And it's a 501c3. We just started it this year, and we're so proud of that to be able to give back to the kids. And so this way they don't have to go through the same thing that I went to, and cultivate that learning, that spark inside of them before it starts to go out, okay? So that's one of the things we do here at ELearning in our company is to give back as well too. So if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. In times of change, the learners will inherit the earth while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with the world that no longer exists. And that's a very famous quote by Eric Hoffer. And basically he says that those people that think they know everything are going to be left in the dust. Why? Because I know, it's pretty obvious that the way the world is right now, it's quick, fast. Everything is changing so fast, lightning quick. Just think about the internet. All the different things are happening so quick that if you think you know everything, just 6 months from now, you're going to be left in the dust. So he's saying the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that doesn't exist anymore. So you have to be the learner and always better yourself. Because if you're saying, hey, I'm just comfortable the way I am, I'm sorry, but your life does two things. It either grows or it disintegrates. That's the way things work. That's the transmutation of energy that we talk about. Things are always growing or going backwards. They're never staying the same. So you have to learn and get better all the time and grow as a person and grow in your business and grow with your mind and constantly seek new things as you progress with the world. Because I'm going to tell you something that I think you already know, everything's accelerating and it's not going to slow down anytime soon. So you have to get with the program, otherwise you're going to be left in the dust. Now, I discovered these things the hard way, okay? The formula I was taught for making money was a lie. And many of you were taught the same thing that I was taught. Get a job, work for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Maybe you get a college education. I'm not saying anything bad about college education. It's a great thing to be able to give you a foundation, right? But the general formula doesn't work for the vast majority of people, because by the time you're going to retire, and I mentioned this before, most of them can't. It's just a worker farm for people to be able to go through that process. And unfortunately, because of the speed of change that's happening, you have to constantly always learn. And most people that get out of high school that don't go to college never pick up another book. Those people that go to college and get out of college never pick up another book, because it's always constantly learning these new things. And college is a great foundation, but you have to keep on learning to progress because the world is ever changing. And I guarantee you that many of you watching this call right now feel like you're stuck inside a box and you can't get out. There's like, I'm working so hard, I'm doing things, but I'm not getting anywhere. And that's what we call stuck inside a box. Do you ever feel like you're stuck in that box? And it's all built by your life experiences, and the instructions to get out of the box is taped outside the box. You can't reach it, right? So this guy here in this picture, he's trying to get out and he knows the instructions are on the outside, but he can't get at it. It's very frustrating, and many people feel like that. When I felt like that when I was younger, I was spinning my wheels to try to make things happen. And I'm just like, what's going on? And what we want to do here is we want to give you the instructions to get out of the box. Because very important, our awareness of what is available to us is severely limited by our environment. And I'm talking human environment, okay, but also our environment where we're living as well too. And although our parents love us, we're programmed to think the way they think. Their values, their faith, their political views, even the views about money is all programmed from the moment we're born throughout our life. And that's what I was saying before. You have to unlearn some of the things that you were taught as you were growing up through your life. Because when you're younger, you have no ability to really reject any of those ideas, and we just take it as doctrine, and we believe certain things about money, right? Money doesn't grow on trees, right? That type of thing. So we're taught all these things about money. And when I was growing up, I was taught that, hey, my life revolved around what I was doing. And I didn't know that I could make more than $15, $20, $25 an hour. I didn't know it was possible. So, who knew, that it was even possible for me to do that? And that's because I was programmed a lie by my parents. I was programmed a lie to think that that's what was available for me. Okay. And many of us are programmed that way. And we want to teach you that, hey, you have to get out of that box to rethink and to relook at different views, because there's so many different ways to think about your life in general. George Bernard Shaw said 2% of the people think, 3% of the people think they think, and 95% of the people would rather die than think. What is he saying here? Original thinking is very, very rare. We want to make you part of that 1 or 2% and concentrate on how to think. 3% of the people think they think, but what they're really doing is they're regurgitating the same thoughts over and over and over and over again, and they think they're thinking, but it's really, they're thinking what someone else told them, and it's not really any original thinking. It's just regurgitating what other people give them, other news media give them, and they're just regurgitating that type of thing, and not really doing very much original thinking at all. And that 1, 2, 3% that are really doing the thinking and progressing their business and developing on the entrepreneur on the inside are the people that make the substantial change. And those are the people that are making super incomes because they're willing to push the envelope and think, okay? Some things you're programmed with. I was programmed that if I was going to be successful, it was because I had to be in the right place at the right time, right? These types of things, these metaphors that we're taught, we have to be in the right place at the right time, but you can be exactly in the wrong place at the wrong time and still win. And we're going to teach you that that's the case, because what's right, what's wrong, it just is. That's the way it works. Because I can guarantee you that many people were in the wrong place at the wrong time and not doing well, but there's many people that were in that exact same spot but knew what to do that were being very successful, okay? The 2008, 2011 financial crisis is a perfect example. Housing market, I really thought the financial world was coming to an end, but many people did very, very well. During that time, I was doing fantastic, okay? Here's a picture of, during that time, the house I bought right on the water, okay? There's a picture right there, an aerial shot going right into the ocean. Incredible. And we bought that during the downtime in the financial crisis. Why? Because as people were screaming in the streets that the world's coming to an end, I'm like, I know what to do, right? And we were able to capitalize on that and say, it's raining money, okay? And we're gonna teach you how to be able to think outside the box, how to see obstacles that are in your way and say, okay, how can I get around it? Maybe I can use this as a positive, and that type of thing. And that's what we call learning how to think. Here's one of my students, and she's going to give you a short testimonial, because many of the people that have learned from us, you might think, oh, they're gurus or these types of things, but they range. And really the only thing, like Napoleon Hill says in his book, Think and Grow Rich, he found one person that he's looking for the spark in their eye that wants something more than what they had. And this is exactly what Kukui's saying here. And she's a mother, just a mother. She works from home.
Hey guys, Kukui here. I know that probably everybody's busy because they're working on their business, but I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Anyway, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for our group. I'm so excited for things that have been happening for us. And I wanted to shoot this quick video for you folks to tell you guys, what I've been through within just the last month with Easy One Up, and how it's changing a lot of people's lives, especially people that are completely new to internet marketing. For me, I know a month ago, I was in a place where I was searching for, additional income. And I remember meeting up with Rosie, talking a little bit about it. And I was telling her, I said, my son, he asked me the other day, and this is, a month ago, he asked me the other day if he could purchase an app for my phone. It was like a $7 Minecraft app for a game. And I remember telling him that, we have to save money. We don't have any money. And he literally looked at me and he said, we never have money, Mom. We never have money. And that was my breaking point. That was a breaking point for me to realize that I had to do something. I had to do something. And so, fast forward a month now, I made almost over $12,000. Like, holy crap, and I just wanted to make a couple $100. And today, like, I just checked, I made over $12,000. And that is so crazy. Like, that never happens, and all I wanted to do was make a couple hundred, and for me, a couple hundred was going to be life-changing in that week. And to be able to, pay off some debt, to be able to buy my kids brand new iPads, they were so happy yesterday when I gave it to them. They're like, Mommy, we got iPads. And I told my son, I said, you know what, you download whatever you want. I gave him like $100 credit. I said, here, son, you take this $100 credit and you download whatever app you want. And he's like, wow, Mommy, we have money. And I said, yes, we do. But anyway, sorry, that was a little bit of emotional, because it has been. But I want to tell you guys that, think about why you started in this. You know, there was times where I wanted to give up within the last month because of things that were happening. But I later realized that after looking at my kids, I said, this is the reason why I started. And this is the reason why I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep pushing.
This is Kukui, and she was using one of my older platforms, and UEconomy is so much more powerful and has so many more product levels and intense products. And she's made $60,000 in less than a year. In less than a year. Unbelievable. And she's from Hawaii, okay? And just works from home, okay? Now here's another success story, Michael Mansell.
I am super excited about the UEconomy platform and what it stands for. Not only the lives that it's going to change because of the multiple product levels that it offers and the ability for anybody to get a business up and running at whatever level they're comfortable at, and have an entire company and faculty behind them to help them every step of the way so that they can stand out from the many people online and offline that are also starting businesses. I'm behind this company for two reasons. One, because I believe in the vision of it, and two, because the creator behind it, Peter Wolfing. In the last 7 months, I have been able to generate close to $300,000 just from Peter Wolfing's programs. I've known Peter Wolfing for quite a while now, and one word sums up what this man has stood for in his multiple companies that he's created over the last 19 years, and that is integrity.
Guys, he's over $500,000 at this point, and all from what he's done working with me, okay? Now, we have story after story after story, and I ask you the question, what's your story going to be? We have so many people from all walks of life doing UEconomy, and they're changing their life. Some slower, some fast, some have made 6 figures, some have made less. But it's all what your story can be, because you see the vehicle that we have differently than other people do, okay? Now, I'm going to speed up a little bit because we're running a little bit late on time. But one of the things we teach you in UEconomy, because we're about the content, okay, massive content, and we're first and foremost an education company that happens to have a great biz op to it, okay? So there's 3 elements of a model of achievement. Number 1 is you have to believe, okay? You have to believe you can do it. Number 2 is you have to have the awareness, and I've been talking about that, the awareness of the vehicle itself. When I was introduced to online marketing, I had no idea that it even existed. So how could I even believe in it if I didn't even know it existed, right? So now we're making you aware of this vehicle that's out there that can get you from here to there quicker. And number 3 is what I call the principles within the model, which is the mechanics of the actual business itself, how it works. Now, in UEconomy, we have these 3, okay? We're going to give you the belief. If you don't have the belief right now, you can borrow mine, okay? I have plenty in spades. And we're going to give you the awareness of what's possible, not only on the inside, but also about the digital world, how it works, and also about how to promote your business. That's the mechanics in the model, okay? So all these different things are available for you, and depending on where you are in your life, whether you're this baby starting off at the beginning, you're just learning to crawl in your business, so maybe you're getting a little bit more and you're getting the skills ready. Hey, if you quit over here and when you're trying to walk, you still be on all 4s. But you kept on pressing forward to do it, and eventually you're able to walk the way you're doing it now and run. In your business, it's the same way. I don't know where you are in your business. If you start with UEconomy, I certainly hope you do, you might be right here at the beginning as a baby trying to crawl and learning your business. That's okay. Michael Mansell, when he first came into my business, he knew nothing about internet marketing, zero. Within 2 years, he's making $500,000. So what's your speed plan? How fast do you want to run from the crawling aspect? We can do it all for you. It all depends on what you want to do yourself. It's not your ability to do it which is stopping you from achieving what you want in life, but rather your unwillingness to pay the price. I mean, I hate to be blunt. That's my Marine Corps coming out in me. But it's not your ability to do it, because I know you can do it. I think you know, instinctively, you know you can do it. The information is there. We're going to teach you how to do it. We're going to handhold you all the way. But it's your unwillingness to pay the price. And pay the price means that you're willing to do what's necessary, put the time and effort in to be able to build your business and have the intestinal fortitude to keep going, because it'll be tough at times. That's just the way business is. Do you think it was tough for Michael to make $500,000? It wasn't easy. We're not saying this is one of those get-rich-quick schemes. This is a proven business model that requires effort over time that you can make extraordinary results. And the big secret is, ask yourself this question: how many of you would be willing to work for minimum wage? Probably none of you, right? The reason why is because you're aware that your value, you're aware of what your value is, and you know that you're worth more. But what I'm telling you is you're worth more times 10. You're worth more times 10, and you don't even know it. So we're going to raise your value barometer, okay? And so that you can work a lot more and be able to make that happen.